today. I ain't ready. Everybody wants to go to heaven. Have a mansion high above the clouds.
Everybody wants to go to heaven, but not right now, right?
Yep, that's what made that song famous, is everybody identified with it.
Welcome to the Local Buzz. We've got Johnny Robertson here on the show today, and we're going to be talking about, he announced yesterday, or officially yesterday, that you had cancer. Tell me a little bit about what you have and what's next.
Well, I have colon cancer, and I really don't know that much about it, Charles, in the sense of the last final test. It is verified positively that I have colon cancer, and I go tomorrow to find out what stage, whether I have chemo, radiation, and surgery or whatever.
Right. Now, for some of the people in the religious world, I know they can't be boastful about it, but I'm just kind of guessing. I know this is just kind of me guessing. Is they're going, wow, he's getting what he's deserving now.
Right. Well, for 13 years, at least 10 years anyway, Charles, since I came on your station, the religious people will call up at least once to twice a month and say, you have touched my anointed. And they mean that I've talked about their preacher, and they say God says in 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 12, that you should not touch God's anointed, or he'll spank you, or he'll hurt you.
Yeah.
So they're all saying that I've been touching their anointed, therefore God's going to get me. And I've been saying, like as late as last year, well, when's he going to do it? I've been doing this for 10 years, and nothing's happened to me, and I'm surely not scared of your folk. And so I've been trying to turn it around, Charles, like maybe I'm the one that's on God's side, and we've picked on all these other folks, but now they're going to say, I'm sure they're going to say, well, now it took 10 years, but we finally going to get you.
Right, and I'm welcoming those preachers to call today.
Okay.
Anybody, or even church members. That if you really believe that Johnny is getting what's just due for being critical sometimes of local ministries and so forth, I welcome those folks to call in today. I'm sure you don't mind them calling in.
No, I don't. Yeah. And I'll even give the scripture. I actually made a mistake. It's 1 Chronicles 16:22, saying, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. And that was actually said to a king in a dream about Abraham, and they're saying that their preachers are the anointed today, and that I'm the evil king or the evil person, and that he should have already given me a wreck or whatever.
I do want to remind folks that if you're expecting the news on Channel 18, we thought this is such a big story and I mean, Johnny, I have to admit, you probably have better name recognition across the Star region when it comes to preachers than a lot of these folks do. I mean, whether they like you or not.
Yeah.
People know who you are. I mean, when you go to restaurants around here, doesn't everybody know who you are?
Yeah, and I can't now, Charles, these days, like going into the churches and doing the recording that I used to do, I can't do that anymore. As soon as I walk in the door now, I'm ushered out.
Yeah.
Hardly any. I'll say in if we ever get into Greensboro, I can probably start getting some footage again that will be helpful, but I can't in any of the two states.
So you're not welcome in most churches?
As soon as I walk in, it's just, okay, you're ready, we're wanting you to leave.
Right.
And so Micah and them do a lot of the work now. And that's why. It's because as soon as I walk in, it's over. And so, and restaurants and things like that, yeah. What I used to think that they did know me, but I don't think they do, Charles. What it is it's kind of like if you walk in and they don't know where you came from, but they know you, and they're supposed to say hello.
Yeah.
They're sitting there going, I know that guy, I know that guy. But then when they finally figured out, like yesterday when I was in the hospital, the nurse was saying, yeah, I know who you are.
Now, you're having a pretty interesting approach to this. You're saying, hey, this might be my path to get into heaven quicker.
Well, I'm certainly not going to say like Kenny Chesney's song. Everybody wants to go to heaven, not right now.
Yeah.
I've said 2006 when we were being threatened by Robert Kellum's wife. They were going to come up here, shut this studio down. The police had to come, and I said on the air then that if somebody kills us tonight, you've actually helped me get where I was going.
Yeah.
So, and I'm still feeling the same way. Cancer is not in any way a threat to me in the ultimate sense. My wife knows it. My children all know it. They all know that Dad wants to go to heaven. He wants to leave here now. Or he wants to be.
How do they feel about it?
My kids, it's nothing new. They've heard this all their life. That's the way I feel. My wife is, she's kind of like Kenny Chesney, not right now.
Yeah.
But she's.
Is that what keeps you kind of fighting, your wife and all the?
Well,
I mean, because to me, you talk about treatment. I mean, you're going into the treatment program, right?
Yeah, and I would say yes, my wife. My wife would have a fit if I didn't at least take advantage of what we see as God-given blessings, which is the medical community.
Right.
So we don't believe in miraculous healing. We believe that God, through prayers and the medicines that He brought into the world in the first place, that's how you get healing today. So she would just have a fit if I didn't take advantage of that blessing.
Right.
And so,
if it wasn't for her, would you just let it go?
If I were to be convinced, Charles, that the treatment, like my stage, if it was far enough along and I was convinced that the treatment was a waste, I wouldn't waste my money, wouldn't waste my time. I'd try to spend the rest of my life, as doing what I could rather than spending a bunch of time in hospitals and things of that nature.
The phones are already loaded with folks that want to call in, and we're encouraging folks to call. If you want to call in and you're with the belief that this is Johnny's kind of death wish of sorts, give us a call on the 656-3900 line if you'd like, because we really I want to tap into these folks, because I've actually heard this. Johnny's going to get his due. I mean, obviously being the station that carries you, I get these kind of threats from time to time.
Well, I know that some people have actually said they would like to kill me. You know, I've had that on the phone, on live. I've had people talking about beating me. You've heard one guy say he'd beat Micah to a pulp on your program.
Yeah.
You know, and so if I ever had a car accident or something like that, Charles, I mean, that would have been, I don't think anybody said it out loud, maybe not on air, But
I kind of get it. Somebody these guys would push you down the steps.
I do too. I guarantee you. I mean, the cussing and the hatred and things of that nature, and all we're doing is just asking them, prove what you say biblically.
Okay. Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, I just want to say, in general, I don't think that cancer has nothing to do with a person's particular belief or nothing.
Well, let me ask you straight. Let me ask you straight up, because it's obvious that Johnny has a lot of critics out there, and especially in the religious world, and they won't be a lot sad when Johnny if he went away, and because they could go back to business and so forth. I mean, I know that myself. We here at the station get threats from from people out in the public, and folks. The advertisers get threats occasionally. I want Johnny off, and I've actually said, Johnny's going to get his due. Do you think this is his due? That's my question to you.
No, sir, and because you can't because anybody can catch cancer. A baby or anybody can catch cancer. You can be born with cancer. I mean, so that's just like 9/11. It was a lot of Christians and stuff in 9/11, a lot of all kinds of beliefs, and they just got served by bad people, And a person speaking his opinion, that's what Johnny do. You can't go on and wish him dead. I mean, because wishing him dead will backfire and come back on you. But I don't agree with a lot of stuff Johnny say, or a lot of people say, but I wouldn't wish him dead. He's a human being.
All right, man. I appreciate your call. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Charles.
Yes.
Is that really so what y'all showing?
Yes, so Johnny has cancer.
Yeah.
Well, how bad is it?
Well, I find that out tomorrow. I really don't know. I go to Winston-Salem tomorrow, Wake Forest University, and I find out tomorrow what the stages are. But it's not. I know it's not stage 3. Where they're going to cut me open, sew me back up, and send me home.
Yeah. But Colin, let me ask you. You obviously, I think you watch the station on a regular basis. Do you think Johnny's paying the price right now?
Well, I won't put it that way, but we all going to pay for what we do in our life. I know that because I'm suffering real bad. I haven't been told I got cancer, but I've got arthritis that's done got in my blood, in my bones.
Well, but haven't you been critical of Johnny?
Yeah, well, put it this way. Me and him has had some pretty heated words. But I love him like the Lord tells us to love people. And I believe he knows the Bible, but he just goes at answering the questions to the way that I'm not used to, I reckon you'd say.
All right, but let me ask you, because I want to tap into what you think here. Do you think the Lord is speaking, saying, hey, this could be a warning? What do you think?
Yeah, I believe that now. I believe that because, like I said, we are going to pay for what we've done in the past, and I want to pay for mine while I'm here.
All right, but
because I'm striving to get to heaven, and of course I want to live till the Lord touch my daughter, because He knows I've got a handicapped daughter. I don't know why He found out about it, but it's okay with me because I'm hoping He's praying for me and my daughter. I really do, and I'll be praying for you, Johnny. I really will, and I'm not going to be asking you any questions, that's for sure. But I hope it's not bad. And if you've got cancer, I hope they can cure it. And it's in the Lord's hands. I hope you know that.
All right, appreciate your call. Now, I kind of got from her translation there that she thinks she might be paying a little bit.
Yeah. Well, And I knew, I knew that was going to. It's just there's just too much pent up frustration and whatnot in the last 10 years and their preachers have all told them that. They've all been saying, Lord, you touched the Lord's anointed, you're going to get it. So how could they not now turn around, and think that to a certain degree?
Do you think it works that way? Do you think the Lord punishes people on the planet? Do you think He like pushes a button and says, "I will give Johnny 3 more days"?
Well, I don't know anything that the Lord does, Charles, unless I can read it, and I don't think anybody can read exactly what He is doing. There's principles that says you reap what you sow. So if I'm drinking excessive alcohol and taking lots of drugs or whatever, I'm going to reap what I sow. My body can't take that or whatever. If I do, if I don't be honest with my wife and whatever, sooner or later it's going to get found out. Reap what you sow.
Yeah.
So, and I basically try to keep that level down. I don't want to be reaping a bunch of bad stuff, and that's really what we're teaching in the Church of Christ is. People think we're legalists, Charles. We've got all these rules. Really, we're saying that the information we get is actually regulations for peace. Helps you have a better life. Yeah. And so here I'm sitting here with cancer, and rather than be all depressed and stopping my body's healing processes, I'm saying, you know what? I have not had one, I'm telling you honestly, Charles, have not had one negative moment about this. I have always said I'm ready to go.